Already graduated. Oh,
Need this here microphone.
oh, I hear the hum already.
It's a monster hum today. Get this. Here we go.
¿Está bien?
Yeah, it's good. Hi, and welcome back to Coffee Talk. I'm Gretchen. I'm one of your hosts. This may be a little bit of a struggle bus pod, but we show up. We show up for the nuts out there.
We do, even when it's hard, you know.
A hard nut. Yep.
It's a hard nut life for us.
It's a whole lot of love. Okay, so we both just got back. We went on it was not our first family vacation together.
We've gone on like several,
Like 100 of them.
like many.
Well, it was a wonderful one where we did a group camp trip. Miss rents out this camping site, and we were lucky enough to be invited to it. And so many funny things happened.
Yeah.
I was starting to write them all down so we wouldn't forget them. And we can just take it away. Should we start with like our Steve and I's rig?
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Let me tell everybody where this place is and a little bit of background.
Okay.
So, we like to camp. We being Adam and I and our children, we like to go see the sights, hike around, just check out all that Arizona has to offer. And so we like to go to Woods Canyon Lake up on the Mogollon Rim, not Mongolian, which I learned over time. It's Mogollon Rim. And we have been, I think for the last 4 or 5 years, booking this group campsite, which some of the anxiety around camping for me personally is being so close to strangers, and I don't really know how loud they're going to be. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if they're going to be ripping around with their razors at 12:30 in the morning, which has happened before, live it, learn it.
Yeah, risky business. Yeah.
So then we rent out this whole site, and it's big. And I think there's I don't remember how many, 14 or 15 like individual sites. And we just kind of rent out the whole thing. And then whoever can come as you please, in and out. And we just rip around there and do whatever we want. And then we don't have to worry about other people. And it's super fun. So we've been doing that for a while. So this year I said, hey, Gret, why don't you guys come on up, camp with us? She's like, sure. But this entailed them procuring a camping vehicle, if you will, because they sold theirs not, I don't know how many, a while ago.
COVID.
Yeah, they had one, sold it, whatever. So, they go online, find a place to rent said camping vehicle. And I didn't really know what she was going to pull up in, really. I knew there was a flat trailer, packed full of toys. So I knew that was coming. And I'm like, are you pulling that behind your rig? And she's like, yeah, I am. So he sends a link or a picture, and we're like, well, that's pretty cool. It doesn't really quite hit you the magnitude of this vehicle until you see it in person. So we're waiting for them to get there, and it's dark out. And I see yonder out on the road this sprawling Titanic-esque vehicle that just never ends, and they just blow right by the entrance. And I was like, there they are. And so they turn around somehow, find their way back to camp, and Gretchen gets out, and I go, who's that? Guns N' Roses? Because it looked like a tour bus. So huge.
It was so big. It was obnoxious, honestly. And
it was the biggest motorhome I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was like a tour bus.
It was.
Like one of those flat-faced ones.
Yeah, like a Provost or whatever they call it.
Prevost.
Yeah, like a super high dollar, I just thumbs up. So, of course I want to get in there and check it out, but trouble is nothing in the damn thing works.
No, it was horrendous. It was rough.
It was rough. They tried to get too fancy with it. So that's the thing with these camping, you know, trailers or RVs is when you get too fancy, that's just giving more opportunity for things to break
Yeah.
because everything likes to break
Mm-hmm.
at the most inopportune time. When you're getting there, you're trying to set up, get
Mhm.
everybody to bed. It's like, oh, what's that? Oh, the bed doesn't inflate. Okay. What's that? Heater doesn't work? Awesome.
Perfect.
Cool, cool, cool. And it was just one thing after the next with that damn rig.
Oh, it was. It was.
I
But
felt
it
so
put
bad for you.
put a roof over our head. It gave us a really good laugh. And the reason why we went so big is because our other one was so small
Mhm.
that I got a little claustrophobic. And when I get claustrophobic, I get ornery. And then Steve doesn't want to have to put up with ornery Gretchen. And so we were looking for bigger ones. And then the price to get this big dog wasn't that much different than a smaller dog.
That's what Steve said. He's like, I'm looking at all these online. And the price difference was like, I think he said like $7. I'm sure it was more than $7. But he's
Mhm.
like, sure, why
But I
not
think it was like
go?
100. I
Yeah,
think it was
like why not go for the big guy?
yeah. So we pulled up and the funniest part was, so I had just gotten this beautiful fur that I'd been in the market for. So I'm like, I'm going to go big and I'm going to exit this monstrosity of a tour bus
Mhm.
in my fur
Yeah.
and really just bring it home.
It was a moment. It
Yeah.
was a vibe. It was a moment. We definitely got a laugh out of it. We had fun.
Okay, so now tell the beaver story.
Oh my God. So I don't know if you guys have experience with kids that are enthusiastic fishermen, but all of our kids are extremely dedicated fisher people. And we knew this going in. We knew that every second we weren't by the lake, when can we go fishing? Can we go fishing? Can we go fishing? So we planned, we were ready. Okay.
Yep.
So first things to, as soon as we eat a meal, we head to the lake because they want to fish for these bluegills or whatever. So we're sitting there and, you come across other campers and comers and goers and, this nice gentleman with what I assume was his child, uh, fishing on the bank. Kid was probably, I don't know, I'd say 12-ish, enough to know some stuff. You know what I mean? We're not talking like a toddler here. We're talking like a preteen, okay? And the dad's like on the bank rigging up his fishing pole. And the kid turns around and I'm just like eavesdropping because we're just at a lake, like you hear everything around you. And he goes, "Hey, Dad, look, there's a beaver behind you." I'm thinking, oh shit, a beaver? I've never seen a beaver up here. I turn around and look. It's a fucking chipmunk. like the size of a gerbil, clear chipmunk, like Chippendale chipmunk. Everybody in the freaking world would know, the English speaking world would know this is a goddamn chipmunk.
Totally.
The kid, look at that beaver. And I'm like, what the hell is this kid's deal? And the dad, I was like, trying to contain my like confusion and disbelief at what he said because the dad's right there and I'm more like, get into it. Or
That ain't a goddamn beaver. That's
was
a
just like,
chipmunk.
So luckily the dad was like, what? He was like, it's a chipmunk. What are you talking about? So the whole time, whenever we saw a chipmunk, be like, oh, there's a beaver under the table. Caught itself another beaver.
Oh, beaver
Oh,
crossing.
beaver back there, coming close to the camp, looking for food.
Oh, it's just a little baby beaver.
You guys see that beaver over there? But I was like, what?
So funny. And the way that you told it the first time was just like hysterical. And then the beaver joke just continued the whole
It's gonna be
weekend.
a beaver forever.
Yeah. Beaver for life.
Beaver for life. But there was like a series of just funny shit that happened.
It was so good. It was such a fun.
I just felt
trip.
bad that you guys just were struggling to get that thing.
I think it was more Stevie too, because he was the one that would have to fix it if it was broken. But I was fine. The weather was so perfect. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. It was, the only thing that I didn't do is sleep, but
Like at all.
Yeah.
And I thought Lauren would be the one not to sleep because she was in her pop-up and I thought it was going to get too cold out there and she did okay. But like here's what they did in this motorhome that they rented. they put in sleep number mattresses
Yeah.
in the back big bed, and one of them like popped.
Yeah.
What? We're overcomplicating here. You put on a cushion.
Right.
Nothing can go wrong with the cushion.
Do you know what's so funny? He was so upset because he figured out that Sleep Number beds, he must have put it on some kind of pedestal. He must have thought Sleep Numbers were like the cream of the crop, but he was like, all they are is an air mattress.
Yep.
Like and so he was a little disenchanted by the idea that it was just
I
a
know, and God bless him.
glorified air
I was
mattress.
like, because we tried everything. I didn't do shit. I just sat there and watched him. He tried everything to like plug the hole. We got super glue, that super, really intense duct tape. Tried to make it work. And did it hold? No, it did not. And then the whole time, every time something new would go wrong, because it did. Like eventually towards the end, I'm surprised that it started because the refrigerator stopped.
Yeah.
Towards the
Because
end.
the generator stopped.
The generator wouldn't go. Like it was crazy. And he's frustrated. Here I am the whole time. You better call them about a refund.
Oh,
of
that
some
was
kind.
Jacko said the same thing.
How much are they going to give you back? And it's not even like occurring to them. They're like, what? And the first thing, you better ask for a refund with that because that's not part of the deal. He's like, shut up about the refund, okay? And I'm like, I can't.
We're like, we just need you to call them and act like you're me.
I can't. This is unacceptable. The things that you require when you rent a vehicle like this, okay? I'm getting an RV as opposed to a tent because I want a bed. Bed didn't happen.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm in an RV because I'd like to be able to control my climate. Heater didn't work.
Right.
Okay. I'd like to be able to store food in here. Generator? Nope.
Nope.
You were in a giant box.
Totally. So, and then I was talking to one of my friends and I was like, oh yeah, we went camping and the RV came up and all of this. And so this was one of the topics I wanted to talk about too, that I am just kind of surprising you with. But what is the difference between glamping and camping? Where does it end? Because I feel like even though we had an RV, it was still camping. You get dirty, you take less showers, you like have to bundle up, you light fires, you go fishing, like all of these things. And
That's interesting. I think it depends on the person. I think it's highly subjective.
Yeah.
Because to me, I would say anything outside of a tent is probably glamping.
Yeah, that's what Susu said.
Because I'm in there. I got my TV on.
Right.
I got my Starlink.
Okay.
I'm streaming the latest episode of Poker Face.
Yeah. Maybe that's my tough girl mentality that I don't want to say that it's glamping because I'm like,
who gives a shit? You guys were not glamping. You were in a box with no heat and no mattress.
Well, we got your Wi-Fi. And the other part, this is what I wrote to Susu too. I'm like, I've clamped.
I have clamped.
I have preeclampsia.
My blood pressure is through the roof.
I've camped so many times with like nothing that I'm like, I can still call this camping because I have street cred.
So here's the other thing about camping with Steve and Gretchen, which was so fun because they will things that I would like shut down and be like, no, it's too much work. No, this is it. Steve he produced from his RV,
his non-working refrigerator,
handmade freshly rolled sushi rolls at the dinner.
He's the best.
I was like, what? And then I go into they have like the craziest wide variety of treats, deliciousness. And here in mine, I'm like bare minimum. I got like 50 weenies, a bag of potato salad, and some chips. Like,
and it works too.
And just to have the variety of what they brought to the table food wise was just, it was great.
I think it's fair to say, correct me if I'm wrong, that we are the most laid back, calm, bougie people you've ever met in your life.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Like we like nice things, but we can do without.
Yeah.
And if we don't have it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it would be better if we did.
Right.
Right.
If it was me dealing with that hunk of garbage, I would have freaked out. But they're like, it's okay. It's fine.
When we were driving home, I thought just exactly what you said. I was like, thank God the engine works to get us home. Like
Yeah.
that's all I cared about was just sleeping in my own bed
Mhm.
and waking up and teaching my class in the morning and not having to stress about any of that. But
How funny was it? We'd been talking about it all day that you guys were going to leave that night instead
Mhm.
of staying another night. And so like they've been packing up
Right.
for a long time.
I know.
And Sawyer, bless his heart, was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, we're leaving." He's like, "What?" Like no clue.
I know.
He had no clue.
I think he thought maybe we were joking or something. I don't know.
Anyways, they caught a lot of fish. I think between all of them, what'd you say, like 50, 60?
Oh, so many.
Just-
Like to the point at the very end, Sawyer was like, ugh, another bluegill.
I know. I was like, that's why I say to you guys, you're all about quantity,
Yep.
not quality.
There were two bobber trouts that got to the shore and then flopped off.
Adam caught 2 trouts, which I think both of them died. I was like,
Whoops.
is that like normal? I mean, all the other ones live. How come you're killing all these fish?
Yeah.
He's like, you just like
Just
shoo them out
shove it-
there. Like, whoop.
Puts him out there for the
He's
Falcons.
like, circle of life, the osprey's gonna come down and really appreciate that trout. Like, yeah. Tell me about that.
So then I took a trip to Wyoming while I stayed in Billings to help my brother from another mother's fiance, Cassie, do wedding stuff. And we picked out her dress and one thing that I'm adding to my resume is florist.
Mm.
And it was really, really fun. We went to Hobby Lobby and bought like a shit ton of all of these flowers. And then we just started putting them together. We did the flower girl, we did the groomsman, we did her big bouquet. And then we did like this altar piece or like arch piece. And
Like a chuppah?
like a hoppa.
Chuppah?
Yeah. And by the end, my grip was like the inside of my hand was bruised from gripping onto this big honker, but it turned out so pretty. And now I can consider myself a florist as well.
It was so funny because I realized like a day or two into her trip that I wasn't listening when she told me where she was going or why. So then you're like showing me pictures of stuff you were doing. And it was like I was trying to piece it together. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, what are these flowers
What are you
for?
doing?
Wait, I thought you were shopping for something. Why are you making flowers now? Is the wedding tomorrow? Like, I had no clue what was going. She's like, no, it's September. And I was like, where are you?
Who are you with?
Because we were supposed to do our casino night, and then you went and did this instead. So I think once I heard I'm not going to casino night anymore,
Shut down.
my brain just shut down.
Yeah. Shut down.
But I figured it out right before you got home, what you were doing there.
Yeah, you wrote me and you're like, are you doing the wedding flowers? And I'm like, yes, we're doing all of them.
But
And
they looked real. So I was thinking, well, if they're prepping real flowers right now, that the wedding has to be upon us.
right, totally. Totally. And so then there was one part where Cassie was like, this is my control of, and I'm a psycho and I apologized for it later. But like, so I had started the bouquet.
Yeah.
Let's even rewind more. She had started the bouquet.
Okay.
And then I took it and I was like, okay, let's just try this. Cause I had done the bridesmaids and I was like, I'm got a good groove. I know what I'm doing. And so I took it, started putting it together, and then there was another change of hands on it. And then Cassie was messing around with it, and I slowly, like, hold your Coke. She was messing with it, and I slowly went like this. And I took the bouquet away from her ever so slowly, as if my gentleness was going to like make it not as harsh that I'm taking away her bouquet so I
But
can
were you not
finish it.
liking the direction it was heading?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, I just knew that I had a vision and I knew what needed to happen,
Sure.
but we just laughed about it.
Did she end up liking the end result?
Yeah, I think so. I think she loved it.
Great.
And I told her, I'm like, you can change it. My feelings would not be hurt.
Like, you just have to wait till I'm not here anymore. Then you can feel free to make adjustments as you see fit.
I just told her, I'm really sorry. Like, I get a little controlling when I am in my creative flow. And I apologize in advance for ripping that out of your hand when you
Right.
were working on your own bouquet.
Yeah. Well, that was big of you. That was huge.
Yeah. So while I was doing that, you were doing casino night.
Yeah.
And my fur coat would have fit in so beautifully on this. So speak a little bit about your
Ugh,
casino night.
Your fur coat would
Oh,
adjust.
it's so good.
It's really good. We decided we wanted to do a big casino night. Get rooms, the whole thing, get ready together, wear themed outfits. So first it started off kind of like a Scorsese casino theme, and then it evolved a little bit to be more of like American Hustle ish. And my inspiration for my outfit was Jennifer Lawrence in American Hustle with the updo when she goes to that party and gets way out of hand and all that.
So
Yeah,
good.
that was what I was going for. It was so freaking fun, and like not that many people said stuff to us about like our outfits, but the lady at dinner was like, oh, okay. She's walking us to our seat. She's like, you guys, and mind you, Lauren's wearing a full afro,
Yeah.
okay? Katie's in this, we called it like the Dawn suit with like a big chain.
It's so good.
She's like, you guys go into like a costume party later or something? And Lauren just says, like, without a, we are the party. Just serious.
Oh,
Like, we are the party. And she's like, cool.
all
And then
right.
we just
all right.
sit down and do our thing, and people are like trying to figure out like what we're about. So then Adam just starts like perpetuating these lies that are so funny. He's like, well, I mean, do you think it'll be much longer on the entrees? We're supposed to be on stage in an hour. And they're like, oh, like we're part of an act or something.
Oh my gosh.
That took off for a minute. That was quite fun. And then the gambling, we were all kind of losing, which sucks.
Mhm.
But then Katie ended up hitting a 3,200 jackpot
Of course she did.
the next day,
Of course she did.
which is great because I felt like shit. But she was comping everything, like dinner, comp, cabana by the pool, comp.
Oh.
She's kind of a whale at talking stick, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that sucks.
So
She's been-
the Dawn outfit was fitting.
It was. It
Mhm,
was.
mhm.
And then somebody at some point was like referred to her as our host, Caitlin. And that really took off the whole night.
Oh my god.
Because anytime anybody would ask us anything, I'd be like, just my host is Caitlin. Like, why are you talking to me?
Right.
Do you know Caitlin's my host? Like, deal with her.
She's kind of a big deal.
But it's so funny because no one calls her Caitlin anyways. But so that was funny. Yeah, we had a really good time. We loved it. But she could have been there with your fur, but you know,
I know.
you were doing more important things, I suppose.
Oh, I really do. I saw the photos of and like all the different poses that you guys were doing, and I got a little bit jelly, but I'm like, there'll be other
I mean, I
ones.
knew you would, but I still had to share.
Mhm.
Even though
Agreed.
if you do something and I'm gonna have FOMO, I still want to see.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And we could do it again.
The other funny part about the camping trip is I am like the social media person and I love to make videos and I love to do and Missy will tolerate me and Missy like will be totally gung ho and do her very finest and bring it at every party or every video.
As to shorten the process. I call you one take wonder.
But you are a phenom with that.
No one said that. I coined it for myself right now in this moment.
So I would just keep trying to find all of these different funny things to do these videos with. And Missy would knock it out of the park the very first take. And it's me that has to do it over and over and over again. And I would like just forget to talk and it would be horrendous. But so there's lots of good funny camping videos coming soon for the Nut Farm
I love our
podcast.
Brian. Is this our vacation? Like that one to me makes me laugh so hard every
So funny.
time I watch it.
Yeah. They're so good.
And then the follow-up video with Steve driving the garbage
Oh.
behind us on the quad is just like
And Lauren in the background was hysterical.
laugh.
She was dying.
her laugh kills me. We were playing Cards Against Humanity, and when she would like get tickled by the card she was gonna choose, her laugh just would make us all start cracking up. It's so
Totally.
fun.
Totally. Okay, so you want to go right into Taylor? Do you feel
Oh, yeah.
prepared? Do you feel prepared to
Sure.
speak on it?
Mhm.
All right, go ahead.
So I don't know if anybody out there has listened previously, but we've discussed my shirt. Let me get this here. If you're watching on YouTube, you can feast your eyes on this.
This
But,
beauty. This is the maiden voyage of this tea, too, right?
Maiden Voyage of the Tea in Public. It's Taylor Swift flipping a double bird. I really love it. Gretchen gave it to me as a gift. And I was hesitant to wear it for some reason. And now I know that it was because I was waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
So everybody that follows Taylor Swift in the news knows that this week she posted a letter on her Instagram, which she never posts anything. It's very like followers 0,
Mhm.
or no, following 0, followers a gajillion, quadrillion, million.
Right.
Google. So, anyways, posts a letter saying and announcing to everybody how she finally owns the rights to all of her masters and from her first 6 albums, music videos, artwork, anything. She's been trying to get the rights to her music for I don't know how many years and years and years and years.
Too long.
Too long. Which is why she ended up re-recording like a few of her albums and calling them Taylor's version because they were so unreasonable with the terms and would like offer to sell it to other people
Oh,
and then not to her unless she agreed to do 6 more albums with them.
I
She's
didn't know
like-
that part. That's skeezy.
Yeah. So there was a lot of just like weird shit that went down and she finally was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy it, whatever it takes. And so she basically said in her letter, like the reason why she did the Eras tour, not just for the fans and whatever, but to make enough to where she could buy them like no matter what, you know,
Right.
like she
Yeah.
could throw all the money at it because she didn't care. At the end of the day, she just wanted to own her own music.
Right.
And so she finally does, which is fantastic. But I know everybody was so excited for Reputation Taylor's version,
Mm-hmm.
which people are like really upset about, but it's like, you guys, it's the same album. Like, just listen to the one that exists now that she owns.
Right. Right.
And she's like, I know you guys are gonna be like disappointed. She goes, but I do have some unreleased tracks from that. I'll really, if you guys want to hear them, you know, she's trying to like be nice about it because she knows that her fans just demand to be fed.
Right.
And so she's really, really happy. I'm really happy.
Yeah.
It's a big day for her, for other artists, you know, that like it's a
Liberating.
cautionary tale
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times these young artists coming out will sign stuff and agree to things that later end up biting them in the ass. And there needs to be awareness around that, you know?
Like a protection clause or something.
Mm-hmm. Here you have Taylor, like in 2019, she wanted to perform some of her music at an award show or whatever. And they said, no, you can't perform those songs. She's like, are you kidding me?
Right.
It's so crazy.
Right.
So,
But hopefully this will show other like even small timers like, okay, protect yourself in this, in this way.
yep.
And what remember the part where when you just came in and told what Adam said about it, like what you and Adam were mowing over?
Oh yeah. So I'm reading it as we're driving home from camping yesterday, and I'm like telling him what the letter says or whatever, and I just imagine how much, because there's no dollar amount that's been disclosed or will probably ever be disclosed, but you can imagine what it cost
Oh.
her. And I said to Adam, I'm like, do you ever think Trav is like, you sure about that? Like, is that really that big of a deal?
You sure you want to spend that much on that?
You know, you could just re-record Reputation, you know, and save yourself a couple $100 million.
Or bill? Do you think it got up to a bill?
It's hard to say.
I bet it got up to a bill.
It's hard to say, but I love that she has the cojones
Mm-hmm.
and she has said, like I said, I was going to work as hard as I could for as long as I could until I could get my music back. Like this has been her sole focus
Right.
and obsession.
Right.
And she did it,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Good for
So,
her. That's
good
exciting.
for Taylor.
Shout out Taylor. Way to go, honey.
Yep.
Is she a honey? Is she, how much younger is she than us?
I think she's 35.
Okay, so not too much of a honey.
No. What is that then?
A honey would be like in your 20s and
What's in your 30s?
like almost a equal.
Like a maple syrup?
Maybe like a maple syrup.
Okay, still good.
Or like a cotton candy.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know.
Or like a nerd cluster?
Oh, I love nerd
I know you do.
clusters.
You and Adam.
Oh, dude, they make my teeth so sensitive though.
They tear your mouth up too, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anywho,
So the next part, and I know that you never watched the Crisleys.
what's that?
It's a reality show about these southern people. They're from Savannah, Georgia, I think. And
Is this Southern?
different
shit.
one.
Okay,
Not Southern Charm.
that.
So the Crisleys, the mom and the dad went to jail for like fraud and tax evasion and all of this crazy shit.
I do know this.
Yes.
And there's like a daughter.
Yes, Savannah.
Yeah.
And then a couple other their sons in and out of sobriety, and they had formally adopted the son's daughter, et cetera, et cetera. So they're in jail. They've been in jail for a long time, and Savannah's like been advocating and all this stuff. So long story short, Trump just pardoned them.
Mm,
I will preface that this is not a political podcast. However, Trump pardoned him.
okay.
And part of me is like, okay, good. They served their time. Hopefully they won't do this again. But another part of me is like, oh wow, like that's a big pardon. Part of me is like, I don't understand why people get that long of a prison sentence or jail sentence with that type of crime.
How long were they in jail for?
I don't know. I'll have to look, but it was like a really, really healthy sentence, like a long
Well,
time.
sometimes they like to make examples out of people a la Martha.
Right. Totally. A la Teresa Giudice, even though I kind of feel like they deserve to be in there.
I don't know who that is.
She's a real housewife, and her husband was the one that really deserved to be there. And she kind of pleads that she didn't know about any of the mortgage fraud and all of that stuff happening. But
Mhm.
but what the real point of this is I saw on Complex that they said something along the lines of, I'm going to ask the question that everybody's already wondering, but not wanting to say. If Diddy gets put in jail permanently, like if he's
Mhm.
found guilty,
Right.
would Trump pardon Diddy?
Depends on what Diddy has to offer.
It's sick that that's even a question that, or even something that would even have to be pondered. I will freak out if he ponders Diddy.
I will write a strongly worded letter.
I will talk about it on this podcast.
I will tweet once about it.
I will voice my opinion. Like that would be so, if that happens, not that I want this to happen for anybody, but I think there would be such an uproar in regard to that, that there would be bloodshed.
I don't think so.
You don't?
No.
That's
I think
crazy.
everybody is so broken down, and there's nothing he could do that would shock people, and the world is just
There's
along
got to
for
be
the ride.
a tipping point of assassination. Like obviously I don't want anybody ever assassinated. That is not what I'm saying. Same with Diddy. Like I wouldn't want that. But like if he got found guilty and then got pardoned, that would create chaos, I feel like.
Did I ever tell you about the old man who I met in Colorado? Speaking of assassination attempts, remember when someone shot at Trump and his ear tip
Yeah.
got shot off?
Yeah.
So this was right after that when we were in Colorado for some family event, and we
Mhm.
went into this shop, and it was like a haberdashery of like old weird random shit. So
Mhm.
totally right up my alley. And we're
Uh-huh.
talking to this old timer who like runs the place, and he has a bandage on his ear. Okay.
Oh my God.
So I'm joking, right? And I go, do you really hurt yourself, or is that out of solidarity? He goes, out of solidarity. I go, have a nice day. You know?
Oh,
I was wearing a faux ear bandage.
no.
Isn't that so funny?
It's his that
Like
whole
he went to the effort to fake bandage the ear,
oh, people are so crazy.
right?
People are the worst.
Yeah. It's like, sweet.
Oh my God.
So what do you want for that pocket knife? Or
So is this still for sale or?
I was like, okay, cool. You got any like Egyptian shit? Or and he did actually.
Oh my
Pretty
gosh,
dope.
you can't just wear like a t-shirt. You got to bandage up your ear.
Yeah. I kind of respected his effort, but it was silly.
The pageantry, if you will.
Correct. Correct.
I know you're a fan of the pageantry.
I am. I love when people commit to a bit.
Yep. So that's my 2 cents on that. And I'm just waiting with bated breath to see what the heck is gonna happen with that craziness.
I can't even begin to speculate.
Speaking of like an ear falling off, let's talk about body dysmorphia, shall we?
Sure.
Let's go there.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to start? You or me? What's your take? What's your nuttiness on this?
I mean, what's for me the weirdest thing is how it can like fluctuate
Mhm.
depending on where I am in my cycle.
Right.
Some days I'll be like, oh, they look cute.
Yeah.
Other days I'll be like, what is this?
What's
It's
happening?
not human. What's
Mhm.
reflecting back at me?
Mhm.
It's some sort of monster,
Right.
and I need to be put down immediately.
Right. This has gone too far.
It's gone too far. I need to save the world from my hideousness. Is like where I could be at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward 72 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, I look good.
Totally.
And that's just me. Like, I don't know. Maybe mine is all just like purely hormonally driven.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I'll be out with Adam. I
Mhm.
love to do this to him. God, I'm sick. And I'll be like, see that girl over there? And he'll be like, yeah. I'll be like, that's what I think I look like.
Oh.
Because sometimes I do.
Right.
And
Right.
he'll be like, are you joking?
Right.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't look any like, what are you?
Right.
It's like he just can't argue with crazy.
Yeah.
And that's like what I bring to the table.
Yeah. I think it's so wild that I'll even look back in pictures of 20s or even high school. Let's even go back to high school because in high school I was like, I am large. And I'll look back and I was like, I was a pencil. I was
Yeah.
so tiny. And then all I can say is that like when I look back at each decade, I'm like, oh, I can't even believe I talked crap about my body in that time frame because I would do anything to have that back.
That's what we always tell Bree. Bree is
Mhm.
always like, oh, I look terrible.
Mhm.
And I was like, you gotta appreciate it while you have it. And I think that comes with age because of, like as I just mentioned, I'll struggle with some thoughts and whatever. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, I'm old enough now to
Mhm.
know like I'm never going to be any younger or hotter than I am right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wear it and I'm going to do it and I'm going to just ride with it and I'm going
Totally.
to block the other shit because it doesn't serve you and it's just not really true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
I'm not
Yes.
saying I couldn't stand to lose a few or tone up here or there or whatever, but still you can't lie. Like I'm never going to be any younger.
Mhm.
So when I was younger and I didn't have that perspective and
Mhm.
I just squandered my hotness or whatever, like not going to make that mistake again.
Yeah. I think that's so smart. And it is like this whole topic is for our Brie because she's so hot.
Yeah.
Like she's banging, she works her little tail off, she loves to hike, she does all of this stuff, but her sweet little mind just plays games with her.
Yeah.
And she was very like talking about her hormones and during her cycle she gets this. So it's like we really have to be so mindful of that. Like
Yeah.
cut yourself some mother freaking slack during that phase. Wear your favorite comfy big t-shirt. Wear like dress.
Distract. Do
Exactly.
something that doesn't require you looking at yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you
Yes.
gotta just it's time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't okay, I don't know if most people or whatever. A lot of the people I know, including myself, don't feel that way all the time. It's kind of a fleeting thing that rears its ugly head periodically. And if that's the case for you, I say do something that go camping.
Right.
You don't look in a mirror when you're camping.
Yeah. Totally.
Totally. Clean out your closet.
You know what the really, really crazy part is? There was one point where I'll just say me. I was gonna relate it to Brie, but I'm not gonna tell her story. There was one point where I don't know if I was just super busy, but I wasn't eating a whole bunch, and like I had gotten very, very skinny. And in my life, that was the major time where I was like, oh, I'm looking good. Like our heads go to the total extreme, and then later on, you were like, no, you were too much. That was too much. And now I feel like I am like in a good even keel, but it wasn't until I got too small that like unhealthy small that I could see or that I was like, oh yeah, we're okay right now.
Yeah.
And that's fucked. Like
I
that's
know.
so messed up. And I feel like we just really need to normalize or figure out a way for all of our beautiful women to realize that the only way that we are going to better or get more comfortable with our body is if we are comfortable with it at every level, at every time. I gained 50 freaking pounds with Sawyer.
Yeah.
I hated my body and I'm like, I am going to be miserable for the rest of my life because I'm never going to get this weight off and I'm always going to be this big and this blah, blah, blah. And I was super unhealthy at that point in time anyways with drinking and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I had to like make peace and make friends with that version of me before any of the weight came off. And then once I did that, stress was one way that like it held on to me for dear life. But it's a real thing. And I have like major compassion for all of my ladies, and I'm sure dudes have it as well, but I'm only gonna speak for what I am. And
I think dudes struggle with it big time
yeah, yeah, I would think so too.
because it's weird. Like they're not supposed to. I don't know. There's this whole thing with like, oh, guys are better as they age. Oh, guys, da da
Mhm.
da. And you know, I like to rip on guys as much as I possibly can.
Hmm.
But I do feel like they have similar pressures and but they don't really. It's not really like normal or like accepted for them to talk about it.
Right. And or it's like glorified dad bod.
Like, where's the fat male models?
Right. Or where's the equivalent to dad bod for moms or for chicks?
Mom bod?
I've never heard that.
The C-section shelf?
Right. Whatever.
But I'm also I think you should learn to be okay with yourself because your appearance is not everything. But I am also a major proponent for plastic surgery if you
Mhm.
have the means, the desire,
Mm-hmm.
and understand what you're doing.
Yep.
I feel like people should be able to use weight loss medications without being shamed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that everybody should just do what feels good for themselves and shut the fuck up about other people.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I
Right?
second that wholeheartedly.
If you're okay with your boobs after nursing, great.
Right.
If I'm not okay with my boobs after nursing, don't get mad at me.
Right. I even look at it too as like, which one comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do we feel good about ourselves? Okay. Because at first, when I was justifying getting filler or Botox or doing or my boobs, even, I was like, I've already done so much work on my inner self. I'm at peace with my inner self. I want my outer self to like make me feel good as well, be my highest self as well. And so that's how I justified it for myself before I stopped giving a fuck what people thought or anything on being hard on myself. But if it takes you getting a boob job to actually lift yourself up enough to then start doing other good things for yourself,
100%.
then I say
We'll be
do
right
it.
back.
Be right back.
Come in, come in.
Bye.
Oh, my bad. Okay, we back.
It's a fun little encounter.
All right, we just had a nice little sweetheart come in. The daughter of Shelly, who owns a Zenza right next to us in our area, and we ride hard for Shelly.
Oh, I
She's a
forgot
doll.
about this where you're showing my you have your hand behind my horse tattoo
Oh.
like they do in the
Well, that's funny. We put the Nut Farm podcast up on our TV at G-Soul because it adds a little ambiance,
yeah.
you know. Okay, so I totally have no idea where we left off. Oh, body dysmorphia. Oh, plastic surgery. Chicken or the egg. So where I land with that is I felt like I was good in my inner, so I gave myself permission to do the outer. But like I know that a lot of people need the outer first before they can really have permission to do the inner. So whichever comes first, how you said it so beautifully. Permission granted to do whatever makes you feel good
And
and
if
feel
you
right.
don't want to and don't need, then don't do it.
And stop judging other people if you are like a maniac. You don't have to do it.
See, that's
Get off other people's nuts.
Yeah. Just if I may, that's
Mhm.
one thing that I do see quite a bit is everybody who doesn't want to get plastic surgery
Mhm.
sure talks an awful lot about the people that are,
Right.
but you don't see people that got it being like, that bitch needs a boob job. Like,
Totally.
why is it that way? Like, why can't you just be like,
Yeah.
whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. Miserable. Miserable humans. Leave
Like
everybody
maybe
alone.
maybe you do want it.
Ooh, there
Maybe
we
you
are.
do.
Maybe you're too scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you should step your pussy up and be like, I hate my boobs.
Yeah.
I want to get them done.
But I'm so free and I'm so natural that I'm not going to do that because I'm
Right.
just going to stay in a miserable state of being because I'm so good.
I'm not even saying like you have to get implants because there's some major improvement, if you will, that can be done to your anatomy up top
Uh-huh.
without the use of an implant.
Yeah.
And you get weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, nursing, not nursing, whatever. Your bodies change.
Mhm.
Maybe it's just time,
Mm-hmm.
and they sag.
Mm-hmm.
If you want them to be perked up, take what your mama gave you, and they lift them bad boys up.
Heck yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I know people are concerned about like, what do they call it? Breast implant insanity or
Sickness.
something. Yeah, whatever.
Disease.
Like, so if you're worried about that, I'm just saying there's other stuff that can be done. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that that's something that makes sense that people would be concerned about.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. I'm just saying.
How do you think plastic surgery plays into body dysmorphia?
Ooh, I think
You like that one?
yeah.
Ooh.
I think some people will take it to an extreme
Mm-hmm.
because they're never going to be satisfied because there's something else at play.
Right. Couldn't agree more.
Like the people that are always under the knife for one thing or another. And I can see how that occurs because
Mhm.
if you get something done and then you're really pleased with the results,
Yeah.
give me more.
Yep.
Which also I'm okay with.
Mhm.
If you want to look like a freak and you think you look good, rock on.
Yep.
As long as you're not hurting anybody else
Yeah.
or going into hawk or having to steal to pay for it or whatever.
Right.
If you have the means,
Yep.
then do whatever.
Dude, I can see how that would be. It would be so. I do that. Well, we all know that I do it because I am who I am with anything that I'm like, if it's good this amount, it's going to be real good. That, like, I
Yeah.
do it with essential oils. They're like,
Mhm.
use 1 or 2 drops. I'm like, well, 1 or 2 drops is awesome. So, like, let me do 20 drops of frankincense because
Right.
then it's going to be even better.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I don't understand. Again,
let people live their life.
this goes to my truth pillar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what other people do as long as they're not hurting anyone
Yep. Absolutely.
or me personally.
Second that. Second that.
I felt like I had something else to say. Damn it, I should have put it on the show sheet.
Rats.
I had a grinds my gears.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
It'll come to you. If it's
Okay.
divinely supposed to, it will come to you.
All right.
We can talk about this is really funny because I came in and I was doing the show sheet with Missy and I'm like, what about the idea of like when people tell you their dreams? I hate when not their real life dreams. Like when they sleep and they wake up and they come to like people will say to me, "Oh, I had this dream last night." And I'm like, "Oh, no." I hate hearing people about people's dreams because they take so long and there's no like awesomeness to it. Because it
It's
wasn't
not real.
because it's not real. And
Yeah.
it didn't, and they're always so long. They're always, I'm just like, oh, just get to the punchline of what. So I'm telling Missy about this that I wanted on the show sheet, and she's like, well, I have a dream that I wanted to tell you today. And I'm like, oh, it doesn't pertain to you. Just tell
She's
me
like,
this.
I really hate when people do this. I'm like, cool, cool, cool. So I had this dream last night, just not completely unfazed by it. But I can't discuss my dream because it's completely unhinged and I'm still upset. I wake up upset, even though
Well,
I
that-
know it's not real.
That's what makes the story okay for you to tell me your dream because it is unhinged and there's like a seriousness. It has to do with Adam and Adam's like, the dream wasn't real, Missy.
I get mad at him in the day. And he'll be like, "What?
I didn't do that.
I don't know what to say. Like, it wasn't me. I was right here.
Oh, but do you know what I mean? Like when people will come to you, or let's even just break it down to even to our kids. And like they'll be like, I had a dream. And and then it will just continue on and on and on and on and on until I'm like, okay, well, we're good
Cool
now.
story. Should go play a game.
Why don't we just so spare me your dream stories if we're ever in unless you really need to talk about it and then I'll be your person.
Yep. I'll just tell her anyway.
Just tell me anyways, I'll listen. Okay. What else?
Should I just do like a blind pick of the list?
Yeah, you
I'll
can.
go like this.
Yeah, but some of them aren't very good. Oops. Oh.
Did you just delete them all?
No.
Playing fast and loose.
Fast and loose is right. I want to know what your other one. We can talk about the Psychward finally.
Oh, when you got to go?
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Let's segue to this. Taking a break. So all day, every day, there are tired moms out there, and all we want to do is take a break. So if you guys are anything like us, when I get sick, or let's talk LASIK. When I got my LASIK, I'm like,
Sure.
yes, I get to stop for 6 hours and take a nap. Or my wisdom teeth was another one of those days.
Mhm.
And what were even like when I got my boobs done, another one of those days. But in my head, I have to be totally taken out
Mhm.
to get to the point where I can be like, okay, now I can take a rest.
That's true, Gretchen.
Yeah.
For
Abs-
you.
Yeah.
You hustle to an extent and an extreme I have never witnessed.
Thank you.
It wasn't a compliment.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. No, but like the sheer effort and like amount of work that this person right next to me is capable of putting in is impressive.
I love you for saying.
I mean, like, this is the girl who didn't tell me she was sick she was sick, had to work all day, had to pack up all the things, haul the kids up there, do all the stuff. Like, the amount that she takes on and will do is really, really impressive. So it's not a knock. Okay. I think you're something to behold. I tell you that.
Thank you. I feel the same way about you.
I just wish you would give yourself the freedom to just not every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I know why you do it, because you love what you do
Mm-hmm.
and the stuff you take on. You're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand.
Mhm.
But I'm just like, man, I'll be like, you're sick. Stay home. And she'd be like, it's not that bad. I'm not that bad. Like, it's fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. And I'm like, girl, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you give that kind of love to me.
Yeah.
If I'm not very okay, you'll be like, just don't.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that's going to stop you.
I think that's the pickle of it. That is like the biggest pickle is like, for one, I do love everything. And for two, I have this like insatiable drive to create generational wealth for my family. Like, not just like, I'm going to be comfortable and there's going to be some money in the bank. Like, I want it to be big.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But I mean, I totally do agree. And I teach fucking meditation. Like, I should know how to,
The
and
slow,
when,
slow.
yeah, the slow. But also, in my defense, when I'm driving, and you know how much I drive,
That's true.
I use my drive time to enter the slow.
That's true.
Very
100%.
mindful, strategic with where I can get my slows in. Because, I mean, let's just be honest, if I don't do those things, I'm going to wind up getting hammered. Like, you know that I'm good. Oh my God, I want to do this video so bad. When it was like this video in my head where it'll say people won't know I've relapsed, but there will be signs.
Oh,
and like
God.
I'm doing something wild and crazy. Like, how great would that video be?
That would be really funny.
Oh my God, I want to do it. I need to figure out what it would look like
I
if
would know.
you would. I mean, yeah, every people would know.
I would know. I took one look at you the other day when you got out and I go, she's sick.
Yeah.
I just knew. Like, I just could tell. Like, oh, my allergies. I'm like, oh, bitch, it's not your allergies. You have like a virus.
That ain't allergies.
But you know what? I think the whole time I've known you, you've taken like one sick day. And it was when we were in the middle of the remodel here. And you were like literally on the brink of passing away. Remember that cough thing that you had?
Oh, yes.
Remember? And you couldn't speak, and I just had to take up speaking for you because you'd
Oh
go to
my
talk
God,
and you'd gag,
totally.
and I'd have to be
Yes.
like, she's gonna say da 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 because like you couldn't talk.
It was for 2 weeks
Yeah.
too. I had that.
You were illin.
Oh, I totally forgot.
And I think you took maybe one day where you're like, I'm really unwell.
And there was no voice. That's another thing. Like, I teach for a living. So
Uh-huh.
if there's no voice, that's another one where I'm like, oh, I can't.
I mean, her capability has to be physically stripped away. She'd be like, I can't teach today because I cannot speak. And that's what it takes
That's what
to
it
stop
takes.
this little dynamo.
Even this last one where I got a little sick just now, or the past week, it was the universe delves this out to me when it's too much.
Said you got to slow it down a little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is really the only time that I ever get sick is when I'm exhausted, like I'm
Yeah.
overdoing it.
Yeah.
to
I
another
was
level.
glad you guys chose to go home in the night instead of the morning, because I know your little inside was probably like, I don't want to have one more night.
Yeah.
But you made the right call to get home and to get sleep in your own bed.
Yeah.
I think that was for sure the right call, despite me wanting you to stay. But
Yeah,
I was
that was
proud
a
of you for that,
hard decision. You know, there's
because you'll normally power through,
Mhm.
and then you had Sawyer on top of it who really didn't want to go.
I
So
know
I was
his little
proud of you.
face. His little face was so upset.
I know. Did you see the boys embracing? They left. How cute it was? Yeah,
No.
they were hugging. I was
Oh,
like, oh my god! And then Soy was hugging Pay and picked her up and spun her around. It was the cutest thing.
where was I?
Probably doing a ton of work while I was sitting there,
Watching my kids.
We're just taking it all in.
Oh my God. Okay, so we can wrap this up with we can talk about dog anxiety. Have we ever talked about that? Mom dog anxiety or the psych ward?
I want to hear about the Psychward.
Okay. This is a good story. So one of my in the thick of it back in the day, I would go to detoxes all the time and or hospitals or whatever
How many would you say? How many trips
to detox.
to any kind of facility? All in.
Well, I think I actually know it because I did a post on it last year for my 8 year. I
Mhm.
think there was like
Oh, I forgot
8.
to celebrate your 9 year.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
it 10?
9,
May.
26th.
Congratulations.
Thank you, baby. So it was like, if I remember correctly, like 8 detoxes, 3 hospitals, 5 day programs / IOPs, and then 3 inpatients before the light bulb finally was able to turn on.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. And they ranged from like Steve was like, okay, maybe you just need to go to a really, really, really nice one. And he would hook me up with this place in it actually was in Prescott called Gallus, and they would give you massages and you could pick your own food. And it was like such a gushy,
Yeah.
mushy place to go. And
Yeah.
they did an actual like medical detox where I could take Valium, which is game on. Like that, those were the easiest detoxes when they just load you up with Valium and you sleep it off.
Yeah.
But there was one that I went to that was in Scottsdale, and this one particular place has you in a 24-hour psych ward hold before you can go into residential or IOP or your next level. And it's not just drug addicts and alcoholics in the psych ward. Like it's mental illness as well, like schizophrenics and all of the things.
Like probably suicide attempts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just remember this door. There's like a little tiny window, and they open the door, and then it's like a hard close. And then basically there's no windows. There's like these little loungers. There's like tiny little ghetto TVs, and like one person in there with you with like one staff, and then a bunch of other people. And oh my gosh, this guy, he was so nice. He just came right up to me. You could tell he probably was in there for substance too, but it was for sure just mental, like schizophrenia, that kind of stuff. And he comes right up to me and he's like, hi, I'm so and so. And I'm like, hi, I'm Gretchen. And I just like want to bury my head in the like just run straight into a concrete wall in my head. I hated myself so badly. And you have to stay in there for 24 hours. You don't move. Even if I'm like, hey, this isn't really for me. Like, I know that I said that I needed to be here and my husband said I needed to be here, but this isn't,
So you
this
like
isn't.
sleep in front of everyone in there.
Yes.
Yikes.
You have the sticky socks. They give you the outfits that look like you're an inmate,
Uh-huh.
like the whole 9 yards. And in my head, I'm like, how did I get here?
Right.
Why am I? But in the beginning, I'm like, oh, I just need to be in the next level of care right now. Like, I don't need to stay here because I'm not that bad. And
Yeah.
this isn't
Yeah.
whatever. Okay. So fast forward, I get out of there. I go to the next level, maybe for a day or two, talk him into letting me out. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just do an IOP. So I get like 3 months of sobriety,
AOP.
like intensive outpatient.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
there's residential, there's PHP, which is partial hospitalization, and then there's IOP where it's just you come and you go.
Right.
like a night or a day program. So I get a good chunk of sobriety with their relapse, and then I don't know if there's more detoxes in between it, but finally I'm like, oh, that one worked. I relapsed again. Steve's like, where are you gonna go? And I'm like, oh, well, this one worked pretty well last time, so I'll just go and do their IOP again. I know them and it'll be fine. But what I forgot was that they do the 24-hour Psychward hold. So I walk into this place still not knowing it. I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I see that then they're leading me and I see the door with the little hole for the window. And I'm like, no, 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 no. This isn't, I don't want to do this one. I don't want to do this one. And they're like, it's too late. You need to go in. So the door opens.
They like drag you in,
No,
like Girl Interrupted style,
I mean, that's how I wish that I could have
like
been
kicking
putting up
and
a fight.
screaming through you over their shoulders like a little.
That's how it was
child.
inside, but I'm such a people pleaser and I don't want to ruffle any feathers. So I just walk in again and not even really knowing that I had an option either way. Like that's kind of the mind-boggling part in my head, even when I was little, like knowing that I never knew that I could say no, even when I was told what to do when I was younger. Like my mom was like, you need to be home at midnight. So I'm like, okay, I'll be home at midnight.
Yeah.
Knowing that like now I could have stayed out as long as I wanted. There would have been consequences, all the things. Same thing with this. Like I could have been like, no,
No.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And but it never popped into my head as an option.
Right.
So I walk in there, there's a slam of the door again, and I'm like, oh my God, not only was I here one time in this psych ward, I'm here for a second time. And here we go. We're going to make this story even more entertaining. The same schizophrenic fella walks up to me,
Oh man.
looks at me, and says, hey, Gretchen, remembers
Yikes.
my name, remembers who I am. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I am on a first name basis
Yep.
with regulars of a
Yeah.
psych ward.
Yeah. Was that when it clicked for you? When
No.
was the when was the moment that your aha moment where you never drank again? Do you remember?
I do. And there were a couple leading up to that kind of like kept it being stronger. So the last time I'm like, I'm back to work, I'm doing good. I think I had like 5 months sober. And then 6, 7, I was sneaking it a little bit here and there. And then I did the same exact thing. And this kind of goes back to our hormones too, and talking about like the body dysmorphia and what fucking happens to our crazy brains during those times. The same time of the month, right before my cycle started, I would relapse.
Yeah.
And 3 months went by, the same exact thing to the day, to the action, to the mindset, to my thought process. And I did it, same exact thing 3 months in a row. And I'm like, oh, I can't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Like that was the aha moment for 3 years of trying to figure it out. And what was the magic pill that I could take, no pun intended, to like get it to stick. And people saying it's not the first drink, or no, it's not the 20th drink, it's the first drink, it's the first drink, it's the first drink. I never let that set in until this time where I looked and I'm like, oh my God, I've done the same thing. And the common denominator is I drink. And I'm like, I can't drink anymore. And so that opened it up. And then it started to really take shape and be powerful when I realized that I got to be happy. Like, I'm not just doing this so Steve won't leave me and I get to keep my baby, but like, I get to be happy too. And this gets to be more than just like making people not be mad at me anymore. And I just, so that, and then it got even more powerful realizing that I could feel my crazy in my body.
Right.
So if I could feel my crazy in my body first, then I can nurture my body and like take care of my body before it got crazy. And and then I just kept doing what people told me. Like I would go into that last time I would go into treatment, I just looked at whatever everybody and I'm like, just tell me what to do. Like I was so broken and I was so like tired.
Yes.
That it just got to the point where I'm like, I don't have any ideas anymore. Like I'm not going to talk anymore.
Yes.
I'm just gonna have you tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And then it just started working and the momentum came. But it's like you go in there and it's a process. Like people think that you go into these treatment facilities or these psych wards or all these things and it's just like you stop drinking and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Like there's such work that goes into it to create the happiness and the peace part.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I swear to God, and there was another psych ward that Aurora was a terrible one. too, that similar aspects, people screaming and yelling, and I'm like, how the fuck am I here? Like,
Right.
and as hard as I work now, that's the type that I was trying to get sober with, the go-go, like trying to push and push and push and push. And the way that it starts working is that you just stop. Like you
Yeah.
just surrender and you just say, I don't know how to do this on my own,
Mm-hmm.
but I get to have help because there's other people that have done it,
Yeah.
and I'll just do what they do. And hopefully I'll get what they get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Story of my life, baby.
Fake it till you make it. And I
Story.
did. Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it works. It worked out pretty good. Now I
Yeah.
have some purpose in my life, and oh my God, the psych wards. Luckily, I never had to go into one of those. Here's the silver lining. I never had to go into like a padded room because I'm such a
Mhm.
people pleaser and like
Yeah.
a not ruffle the feathers person.
Yeah.
But inside, I was kicking and screaming, and it was not a harmonious. I didn't willingly go to one treatment facility.
Really?
Fuck no, no. I didn't say, I'll check in now, please. Not
Yeah.
one. Every single time Steve's like, pack a bag, pack a bag. Where are you gonna go? What are we
was
gonna
the
do?
longest period of time you were gone for?
The last time. So I was gone. I went into SOBA for inpatient, and it was my first inpatient besides the very, very first one that they said, and I remember this clear as day. They said, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling better. I'm gonna take off now.
Yeah. Just
I'm
gonna
fixed.
hit the road.
It was because I thought it was just physical. I just needed to stop withdrawing,
You're
and then
right.
I would be fine.
Right.
And the woman there was like, "This is a disease of the body, the mind, and the spirit.
Mhm.
You've done the physical, you've done the body part.
Yeah.
Now the real work starts." And I'm like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about."
Right.
And I just went right back into the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So the SOBA at that inpatient was when. What was the question that you asked me?
The longest time you were
Oh.
away, like longest period of time.
I went into SOBA and I'm like, I'll do 1 week. And Steve's like, whatever, just go.
It's like, fine, just fucking go.
And so then I did another week, and then I did another week. And after 60 days, so 2 months, I went to him and I'm like, I'm not ready to come home yet. I can't do it. I need to stay another 30 days. And he's like, okay, it's great. Stay another 30 days. So I did 90 days the first time, and then a series of IOPs. So I think in total, I probably was in treatment for some form of treatment for 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
and then therapy afterwards
Mm-hmm.
too. It's a long time.
How often did you get to see him? Could he come visit you?
Yeah, he could come. They cut it down more because that's what really like sucked me in my gut.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate it. At the time it was really, really gut wrenching
Mhm.
that they would limit how much I could see him in Sawyer, but I needed that to feel that.
Yeah.
But mostly it was in the beginning at SOBA, they would almost come every single day,
Mhm.
which wasn't really part of the rules.
Yeah.
But they're like, this bitch is probably gonna slit her wrists if she doesn't see them.
Mhm.
And then the last time, so I was at SOBA 3 times, and the third time, that's when they're like, you can maybe once a week.
Yeah.
And Steve even knew that too. Like he couldn't be that available, and he had his own shit. Like he was running our whole life and
Yeah.
taking care of our baby while I was figuring out what
Yeah.
I needed to figure it out.
Yeah.
So fully away was, and then the very last time I did 30 days inpatient and then IOPs. And they knew me by that time where I'm like, can I please just go home and do IOP instead of staying for PHP? And they're like, yeah, it's fine eventually.
It's so crazy knowing you after that. Like it's not who you are. Like
Yeah.
it's so crazy to
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah.
But it is who you are.
Mhm.
It's who, but it's a part of your life that I'd never witnessed. So it's hard to believe.
Yeah. I mean, it was like 6 a.m. I would be chomping at the bit because I knew that's when all the liquor stores open. And I would try and like pack enough into our house in different hiding places so I wouldn't get sick. And so like 3 a.m. would come around, I'd start withdrawing, and my anxiety like would start to peak and all of this stuff. And so I'd just go try and hunt for all of the hidden booze in my house. And if there wasn't any, then the anxiety just to get to 6 a.m., I'd be like, I'm going to go to the gym or I'm going to go to a meeting. And I would go and buy stuff but it was, at the end, it was horrendous. Like the amount of energy I was putting into trying to get booze and hide it and all the things was just like, could have killed me in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have all that extra energy to put towards all
No
the stuff that
kidding.
I do.
Right.
Put towards the greater good instead of the sabotage.
Channeling it for good.
Yep.
Wow. Well, that's quite an accomplishment.
Yep. My favorite quote that I get to say is, I beat booze, bitch.
You did.
I can do anything.
You did. That's what Lindsay Lohan said in an interview where they're like, what was your drug of choice? She's like, booze.
Mm-hmm.
And I know she dabbled in other stuff, obviously,
Mhm.
but for her it was
Yeah.
booze. And it took her a while
Yeah.
to get over it because I think she's sober now and has been
Mhm.
for a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
Years, I think.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I couldn't imagine if you were just surrounded by yes men. That's why people die at 27 over and over and over again. That's when I
100%.
started to get bad, was that age. And to have the people that I had in my life set those boundaries with me was huge.
Yeah.
And like my niece Taylor and my sister Tiffany, like they were there every single time. I mean, they were a really big part in it too, and I probably don't give them enough credit because I never wanted Taylor to see me bad.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so sweet. And I don't, maybe she knew what was happening. I think she was old enough to obviously realize that, but I never wanted to disappoint her.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a hard one for me to get over too. Like if Taylor came over and saw me, I was like, oh no,
Mhm.
why? But don't have to worry about that anymore.
No,
Forever.
forever.
I
Well,
do.
until we're old and in hospice. or
That's what
whatever.
yes, exactly. I'm like, I think I get one freebie right before I die just to get like whiskey drunk
Yeah,
and maybe do a little cocaine. But
that'd be funny.
yeah.
But it has to be like way at the
Oh, at the very end.
very end.
But I think even then, Steve,
I think we wouldn't.
exactly. I'm like, my ego would be too big that I'm like, I am at that point in time. So I'm 9 years sober now. I'm not going to do the math. I'll say if I die at 90. So I'm 40, 50. So like 59
Yeah.
years sober. Is that the right
Right.
math?
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I don't think I would let that go.
No.
And then the universe or God would probably be like, oh, you didn't learn your lesson. You have to go back down to earth. And I'd be like, oh my God.
Right.
So maybe I'll just stay sober
Yeah.
because I don't want to do this again.
I think we can just like talk about it, but then never do it.
Yeah. Steve asked me, I think it was when I was a year sober, like pretty still fresh. And he was like, if they came to you and said, I have a pill for you that you can take and you can drink like a normal person, would you? And it was so beautiful because I'm like, oh, I don't think I would.
Mm-mm.
Like it's too good now.
Mhm.
Things are too great. My kids are too great. My marriage is too great. Like the shit that keeps happening in my life is too great to screw that up.
Yeah. I would agree. I don't think I would do that because that was never the draw to have the casual
Yeah.
drink.
Oh, yeah.
It was like that wasn't it.
I think I fell in love with you so hard the time where we were having this conversation and you were like, what's the point of one? And I'm like, oh, thank God somebody gets
That's
me.
what I would think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like a wine connoisseur.
Right.
I'm not gonna like appreciate this full-bodied Merlot. Like that's not it for me. If you are, great.
Yeah.
No, it's none. Like
Yeah.
none.
Right. Right. I'm too much of a fun haver.
Yes. I
Like
just didn't want the
party-
fun to end.
Same.
But I think I have an allergy to alcohol
Mm-hmm.
because I would break out in a rash all on my neck
Mm-hmm.
and I would get really sick even if I did only have a couple.
Yeah. I mean, it's poison for your body.
I think my body's like, no.
Right. Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people don't get hangovers and stuff. Like, even if they have,
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 drinks.
I wonder how true that is, though.
I don't know.
Like, or did they just say that and then they're like flying into it, like say they're flying to Ibiza and that's when they detox and are hungover.
That could be.
I know that's a far-fetched example.
If you could afford a private jet, would you get one?
No, I would just charter it.
Same.
Same even with our yacht that I'm gonna get.
Yeah. Like, why not? And
Yeah.
it's really expensive.
Mm-hmm. You get everything and then you don't have to deal with all the headache behind it.
Right.
Yeah. Same
Glad
with the
we're on the
beach.
same page about that.
Same with like my beach house in Mexico. Like I'll always Airbnb when we go to Mexico,
Mhm.
but I'll buy a cabin and I'll buy maybe like a beach house in California or something like that.
I want a cabin so bad.
We'll make it happen.
I just keep thinking about it. I want to manifest the cabin, then we could go up there for the summers.
Yep. Every year I say, this is the last summer I'll be spending in the valley. I'm gonna get a cabin and I'm gonna go cooler weather.
Maybe this time next year. This summer I have pretty jam-packed as to avoid the climate for any extended period of time.
Yeah. I feel bad for my sister. She comes here and it's the most beautiful time to be in Alaska, and she comes down here and braves the hot weather for the whole summer.
I know she does. She comes in like 2 days.
Yeah, I can't wait.
How long did you find her an Airbnb?
No,
Okay.
it'll be good.
You can keep the RV.
Yeah, exactly. Let's
Just park it in the driveway.
pull one of those in there. That'll be great.
Well,
Anything else, my love?
no, I don't think so.
We need to bring back our rapid fire questions. That was one of the greatest things. So next epi will be rapid fire or this and that's.
Okay, I'll have to write them down.
Yeah.
I cannot believe I forgot the grind my gears. Like it was a good one. I was like, it's so good, I'll remember. I always
Did it have-
overestimate my abilities.
Did it have to do with the beaver? Did that
No.
kid grind your gears?
No. It's gone. Like
I
there's
don't-
no semblance. I can't remember.
Rats.
I might need to get that brain scan.
Let's do it. Don't tempt me with a
Did they
good
tell me that I'm getting Alzheimer's?
Yes, and then they'll tell and see this is okay. You know how your body had this allergy and it tells you, "Oh, my body doesn't like alcohol."
Mhm.
Brain scan is the same thing. Okay. And then you were actually forced to do something instead of meandering. Well, maybe.
Mhm.
Like it'll be like, "No, you're going to be fucked up in just a little bit if you don't do something different."
But what if I'm supposed to give up something I don't want to?
Then you'll get Alzheimer's, which is the lesser of two evils.
Red Bull?
Alzheimer's, Red Bull.
Red Bull and antihistamines.
I don't think God would take Red Bull away from us.
He's a cruel and smiting God.
Having said that,
Just kidding. If you're out there, if she's listening.
well,
Just kidding.
that's a topic for another day.
I did she. Like God is she, you know.
God can be she.
Yeah.
God is
God.
binary.
Speaking of God is binary. Speaking of, one last thing that I'm having anxiety about. Do you know what it is?
I don't know.
Do you know it comes, what's today?
31, 31st.
You know it comes tomorrow?
What?
My essay grade.
Oh, boom.
I'm bugging.
You'll do great. And if you don't, it is okay. Talking about a smiting God.
I was such a wreck after my last grade.
I know. So what are we gonna do? We're just
I
gonna
don't know.
celebrate.
I'm gonna put that in your hands
Okay.
and you just tell me what to do
Okay.
because I don't know how to handle that.
They tell you what day it comes out?
Yes, the
Okay.
first.
Nice. Do you want to be hanging out or do you want to see it on your own time and then
I think
call
I
me?
have to see it on my own. I'm starting to sweat just thinking about it, you guys. And they're 9 out. What time is it?
2:30.
They're 9 hours ahead in the UK. It could be up right now. No, it couldn't.
Well, we'll hop off and we'll look. You want to or no?
I don't think it's up yet. Oh God, I'm gonna get
You're gonna do great.
upset stomach.
Upset stomach, diarrhea.
Indigestion, upset stomach. Whoop whoop, diarrhea.
This podcast has gone on for a long time.
Okay, I'm sorry. Bye.
Say it.
Okay, peace out. Renegade.